get so bored of taking the thing that you could screw up, or you try and zip through it too quickly. But basically, you go by the chapter. Then once you start getting the chapters, right, then you could pretty much, start doing that, because there's a substantial pool of questions on the test. I mean, they may ask you nowadays 150 and have it more adaptive, but at the time I took it, there was a pool of like 2,500 questions that it could assemble your test from. So, it was well to do to be significantly overprepared. So, like, I had probably overstudied for at least a good 2 or 3 weeks, because I only had one voucher, and since I was unemployed and broke, I didn't have the choice. So the security field can be interesting. Where I was last working at, they're going IPO, so it's like they love project managers.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they've got sales skills, which, me being former military, you know how well I sound on that one. And they loved milking them billable hours, so that's another story. But here's like the average weighting of the test, which it looks like they've changed slightly. It looks like they've increased like the software development security. But, security and risk management's like their biggest deal. Asset security, security architecture and engineering. And the other tests like the ISEMP, CISSP ISEMP for that particular endorsement, these will probably weigh more. Communication and network security, identity and access management, security assessment and testing, and then security operations. It's like the other ones on it. Like the linear examination, like the old style one that I did, is like you go to the Pearson VUE, you're basically caged in. You can't leave the testing site, but like you go into the bathroom area or whatever else you can. Like they'll let you up at least 2 or 3 times. Like that's what I did. I checked over my answers, made sure I got the best, and then hammered it, and then sent it home. And pretty much the weight of it is fairly similar on that one too. So I take the online proctor there. Domain 1, security and risk management. They basically want you to adhere to, promote professional ethics, IC squared code of ethics. They kind of take that as a big deal. Understand app security concepts, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Everybody knows about the CIA triad, correct?
Yeah. Confidentiality, integrity, accessibility.
Yeah, I'm just saying the CIA triad is still a big deal here, and then they have authentication and non-repudiation as the other parts, other small sub bits of the triangle that they have, sort of tacked on as I guess like the underlining points of it. Evaluate security governance principles, basically alignment of security functioning to business strategy, goals, missions, objectives. Acquisitions, divestitures, governance committees, organizational roles, responsibilities, security control frameworks, due diligence, due care. I take it you've heard of like the most common frameworks, correct?
Yeah, the CIS framework is the one I'm using.
That's what a lot of cloud companies are using, is CIS. Other ones that'll be a big deal is like NIST, especially if you get into the DoD type of companies in the world. NIST becomes more important to them, especially. So they have to go by NIST 800. They also have to use like stigging tools like steel sig or stig or stuff like that. Then determine compliance and other requirements. So I mean, different contractual, legal, and industry standards and regulatory requirements. You might have like a hospital that needs a high trust the CIS, as well as make sure ensuring mapping to high trust, as well as HIPAA and
Hmm.
those particular patient safeguards and privacy requirements. And privacy requirements here's getting a huge boost. Other countries that are younger than the United States have a privacy clause in their constitutions. There's whispers that they're looking at passing a constitutional amendment for privacy.
Hmm. That'd be good.
So that that could make Facebook's current business model bit bit different. Might have to go to paid subscribers for the bonus features, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a very interesting development if they went that far. Understanding legal and regulatory issues and pertain to information security and holistic context, cybercrime, data breaches, licensing, intellectual property, import, export controls, transborder data flow, privacy. For certain companies now that have to do with GLBA, they might leave like their data into like say a European data center and then keep their US data separate in US data centers. It makes it much less of a pain for shipping data over. Because like if they have the US data on like say Irish servers, that may be legal in the US, but then then basically the companies that want to do all the things they can get away with in the US suddenly have to abide by GLBA on US customers, which makes them not as happy.
Yeah, the whole privacy shield thing's gone after the Shrem 2.
Yeah, so there's that with the little things there. Cause like some of the companies here, they're all in keeping your data private, but they want to get enough. They want to mine enough nuggets out of it that they can still make you the product here in the U.S. Understand regulatory and investigation types, criminal, civil.
Hmm.
So that's basically their.
That stuff I don't know.
So understanding data investigation types, like they used to have the IC squared used to have a forensic certification, which they've adjourned. I was like studying for it, and then I was studying the book for it, and then they killed it. So I was like, okay, if I take it, then it's only going to be worth something for like 2 more years, and then it's going to delist. So I was like, nah. Book was interesting though. It's very similar to some of the others.
Hmm.
Administrative, criminal, civil, regulatory, industry standards. Like you might have an internal investigation. If you're trying to like see what an employee is up to, because like some companies they'll sue an employee if they're being malicious. They
Hmm.
can sue them, or hey, if they leave to competitor X, they can then strike strategically at that customer if the guy has like the Waymo secrets in his laptop as he leaves the door. So they're stealing intellectual property, sometimes like that, or sometimes if the malicious teenager in Kansas who's bored, they'll basically like, hey, your parents own a nice mighty big farm. Yeah, we'll sue. If it goes to auction, it's 20 million. Ah, we'll take that chance. Otherwise, they'll just hand it over to like the FBI, who has a tax-free CSISSP team. So I don't know if any of you are members of the InfraGard.
Nope.
It's easy to get. It may take a while, but it's fairly simple to get. You can apply with the FBI and the InfraGard on theinfragard.org. And you can get all kinds of useful contacts and information about it.
Interesting.
Plus, they tend to prioritize your phone in national disasters. A nice hidden perk. Development, document, and implement security policies, standards, and procedures and guidelines. It's like, how to develop them, write them, and all that stuff. Identify and prioritize business continuity plans, business impact analysis, and develop, and document the plan and scope the plan. No fat pipe.
Michael, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So the
I know.
GLBA is the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically one that a lot of the financial organizations have to comply with, i.e. banks.
Mm-hmm.
Anything regulatory. PCI is more of a voluntary standard for like the payment card industry.
Right.
They'll audit and stuff on it. I was just saying Fat Pipe has a disaster recovery software that is useful for like documenting people, and it helps write the business impact plans, basically keeps track of people's phone numbers and automatically updates them. It's a little bit more integrated because like the chapter president here of the IC Squared Dallas, he's like done like Pepsi as an audit. And like, the guy who's supposed to contact in a disaster retired like 6 years ago and then is now deader than a doornail.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, yeah, I'm supposed to reach out to this retired CISO who's now dead. So, like, a lot of places don't like doing the business disaster recovery planning software, but I was saying Fat Pipe had a offshoot that did like the some helped with some automating some of the PDF building and then kept it online as like one of their side businesses. I was just trying to pull it up as an example, but